Okay guys, so this week we are going to be learning about all of the systems in the human body. There's 11 of them that we're going to focus on. So before we get started, we're going to talk about homeostasis. So that is the body's ability to maintain an internal balance even though your external conditions are changing, whether it might be hot or cold outside, things that are prompting you to feel differently, like if you have to give a presentation, you might feel nervous. Those are external stimulations that are causing things in your internal environment to change. So with homeostasis, your body systems are working together to maintain a constant internal environment, and that word constant is the key. So when the balance is disrupted, the body systems may not function properly and human health can suffer. So one of the big things about maintaining homeostasis is temperature control. So in your house, you have a thermostat, and it keeps your house at a constant temperature. When it's too hot, your AC kicks on, and when it's too cold, your heat kicks on. Same thing happens in your body. So when you are too cold, your muscles start to move and shiver, and the movement of your muscles creates friction, which creates heat for your body. And when you are too hot, you start to sweat, and we talked about that when we were talking about our weather unit when water evaporates off our skin. It pulls the heat with us and it cools it down. So that is homeostasis, maintaining an internal environment. Okay, so here is some more examples of how homeostasis works in our bodies. You can see we talked about evaporation of water helping to regulate body temperature again. Your kidneys maintain your water balance. So you don't want to have too much water in your body. So you know if you're drinking a whole lot of water, you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot more. Your kidneys are filtering out that extra water to make sure you're maintaining the right amount of water in your body. Your blood is distributing the heat throughout your body. So just because you're using your leg muscles doesn't mean just your legs get hot. You sweat all over your body because your blood is taking that heat. It's distributing it around your body so your body can sweat everywhere and cool down your body faster. In your brain, your hypothalamus is regulating temperature changes. Your pancreas is regulating your blood sugar to make sure that your body continues to function. And then your skeletal muscles, when they are being used, are going to release heat from friction. Contraction and release is going to create heat from friction. And that's it. Let's move on. Our first system is the skeletal system. That is our support. So it provides support, and without it, we would kind of be like a blob on the ground. So it helps us to stand upright. It helps to support our body. It protects our organs, that are soft organs inside our body, so that we don't damage them when we are klutzy and fall down and bump into things. Okay, so that's our skeletal system. Provides the support for movement and protection of internal organs. And so the big thing with this unit is that you need to know how your systems interact with other systems. So our skeletal system is going to interact with our muscle system to connect our muscles to our bones so that we can move. The respiratory system is going to bring oxygen to our bone cells and remove carbon dioxide. Our circulatory system is bringing that oxygen and carbon dioxide from the respiratory system. It's also bringing nutrients to our skeletal system. All of these things work together. And last, the digestive system is going to provide nutrients for our skeletal system so that our bones can grow and repair. Next system is the muscular system. So it's an organ system that enables movement of the body. So your muscles expand and contract so that it moves the skeleton, and we can do all the things that we like to do, walking, running, even talking, is all controlled by our muscular system. Again, our muscular system is going to interact with other systems. Of course, it works with the skeletal system because the muscles connect to the bones to move our body. The muscular system works with the respiratory system because oxygen is provided for our muscle cells. The circulatory is going to bring all those things to our muscle cells, oxygen, nutrients, and pick up waste from our muscle cells. And of course, our digestive system is going to provide nutrients for our muscles to do work. The circulatory system. This system is the transportation system of our body. We have a network of veins, arteries, and capillaries in our body, and that network of blood vessels carries all the blood to every other cell in our body. It is super important. The circulatory system is made up of all those blood vessels and the heart and our red blood cells. And so it's really important because if blood didn't move through our body, lots of things would happen. Our organs can't get nutrients. We can't get oxygen. Waste would not be able to leave our body, making our bodies toxic. Heat couldn't be redistributed in our body. We just talked about that for homeostasis. That's really important. And then, of course, hormones couldn't be distributed through our body. And hormones is what the things that make us grow, the things that make us, like adrenaline is a hormone, like fight or flight, things that make us nervous, things that help us get excited, those are all hormones. And then, of course, we have hormones from our reproductive system that, tells us when our body should develop for puberty and stuff. So without the circulatory system, all of those things can't happen. So it's super important that we have that transportation system in our body. So, of course, it interacts with other systems because it transports everything. Okay, our cells in our bodies don't move. Our muscle cells in our leg stay muscle cells in our leg, and our skin cells stay skin cells. They're not moving from part to part to go get what they need. Like we go to the store to get our food, and we go to Home Depot to get stuff for our house, and we go to a clothing store. Our body can't do that. The cells don't move around to go get what they need, so they need somebody to drop all that stuff off to them, which is the job of the circulatory system. So the circulatory system is going to transport a number of items for us around our body. So what it's going to transport is oxygen from the respiratory system, waste from cells of every system. So we're talking cellular respiration. Our cells take in oxygen. They release carbon dioxide. That's a waste. And also old cell parts and stuff that our lysosomes are picking up. All of that waste needs to leave our bodies. And our kidneys and our excretory system, which we'll get to in a minute, they filter that stuff out. But the blood is bringing all that stuff. It's being transported by the circulatory system. Nutrients from our digestive system, all of this is being transported by the circulatory system. The circulatory system is the one system that connects all of the body systems together. It's super important. Okay, this diagram just kind of gives you an idea of how blood is flowing through our bodies. So right here, this area is your heart, and it shows how your heart is pumping. So from our heart, we go out to the lungs. These are our lungs here. We pick up oxygen from our lungs, and then we go back to the heart, and then the heart pumps blood out to our body. So here's to our upper body, and here's to our lower body. And then right here where these small areas are called capillaries, and that's where all the exchange of nutrients, gases, everything occurs. And then it gets pumped back to our heart so that our heart can bring it out to our lungs, drop off the carbon dioxide, and pick up oxygen again. So it's all connected. It is a network. There's not any holes in it. Everything, all the blood flows in blood vessels. It's not just in your body like floating around everywhere. Everything is contained within blood vessels. Okay? Moving on to the digestive system. We all know what the digestive system is. It breaks down our food and absorbs nutrients and eliminates solid waste. And this little emoji guy is supposed to be here. Solid waste is poop only. So poop is from our digestive system. Urine is from a different system. Urine comes from the excretory system, which we'll talk about in a second. So solid wastes from our digestive system. And then our digestive system is going to include those organs that you're familiar with: small intestine, large intestine, stomach, pancreas. Your epiglottis is a muscle that covers the passageway to your lungs so you don't get food in your lungs. Your liver, esophagus, rectum, and anus are all parts of your digestive system, which we'll be learning about more when we do our guts t-shirt. Okay? Here is your digestive system. So food is going to enter your mouth. It goes down to your stomach. The stomach connects to your small intestine in here, and that leads here to your large intestine. It's called the large intestine because it's wider, not because it's longer. The small intestine is like 20-something feet long, while your large intestine is only 5 feet long. It's called the large intestine because the diameter of it is wider. This is your rectum, and then the muscle down at the bottom is the anus, and that is your path of food. Other organs in the digestive system are the liver, which makes bile, your gallbladder, which stores bile. Bile is stomach acid. Your pancreas over here underneath your stomach creates enzyme that breaks down sugars in your food. And then this little guy right here is your appendix, which stores healthy bacteria for your intestines for when you get sick, because the bacteria in our intestines is what helps us break down our food, and that's the digestive system. Of course, it interacts with other systems. It picks up the circulatory system is going to pick up nutrients from our digestive system and distribute them to all the cells in the body. So it's super important. Without the digestive system, our cells don't have the nutrients that they need to function. And all the other systems use nutrients provided by the digestive system to carry out their cellular functions. Respiratory system, an organ system that takes in oxygen and eliminates carbon dioxide. So it takes in oxygen, eliminates carbon dioxide. So one of the things that we need to talk about is why smoking is so harmful, because it directly affects our respiratory system. It's going to shorten your life by at least 10 years. Lung cancer is the most common form of cancer caused by smoking, and cigarette smoke has a lot of chemicals in it that interfere with the body's method of filtering air and cleaning out the lungs. So have you ever heard the term like smoker's cough? People who smoke a lot, they cough a lot because they have an overproduction of mucus in their lungs, because there's chemicals in the lungs that the body doesn't like there. So the body tries to trap that stuff by producing mucus, and then you get all this extra mucus in your lungs, and then you just start having a problem like we talked about with cystic fibrosis, that those kids get sick a lot because they have so much mucus in their lungs. The same type of thing is happening with people who smoke because so much mucus is being produced. It kind of gets stuck in there. It says, why do you perform CPR on an unresponsive patient? Because our respiratory system is so important. All of the cells in our body need oxygen. It's important to keep oxygen-rich blood flowing, so that's why you would perform CPR. And it's a bad idea to see how long you can hold your breath, and I know that got cut off down there, but you cannot deprive your body from oxygen. You need to keep breathing oxygen. Otherwise, without oxygen, your cells start to die pretty quickly. So it's a bad idea to see how long you can hold your breath, because you're just damaging your cells if you do that. Here is your respiratory system. So it's going to go in through the nasal cavity or your mouth. It's going to come down. This is called the bronchi. You have your pharynx and your larynx. Your pharynx is your throat. Your larynx is your voice box. So you think la 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 larynx. This is your bronchi. It divides into two. And then these smaller passageways are called bronchioles. And at the end, you see these little sacs that fill up with air. Those are called alveoli. And alveoli are covered in capillaries, because that is where, from the circulatory system, because that is where gas exchange occurs at the alveoli. And you'll see that when you do your Guts t-shirt as well. Okay, so it just takes a few seconds for us to breathe in and breathe out, for that oxygen to make its way into our lungs, down out through our body as our heart beats, drops off oxygen, picks up oxygen, and then we breathe out the waste, which is carbon dioxide. So just a few seconds for all of that to happen. Of course, our respiratory system is going to interact with lots of other systems because it picks up oxygen. The circulatory system is going to pick up oxygen from our respiratory system, distribute it to our cells, and then pick up the waste carbon dioxide to be removed. And of course, every cell in our body needs oxygen to survive. The nervous system is made up of nerves. That's why it's called the nervous system. So it detects information from the environment and controls the body functions. Your brain is part of your nervous system, so the nervous system is what controls everything in our body. It uses electrical impulses by nerves. This is a nerve. I told you guys in class that nerve cells are the only cells that you are born with, and they do not regenerate. Your body does not make more nerve cells. The ones you're born with are the same ones you die with. And so when you damage them, when you have nerve damage, it causes sometimes pain. You can be paralyzed if you have nerve damage. And you can see over here that the network this is your spinal cord, and it leads up to the brain, and that's where, if you damage your spinal cord, you can become paralyzed depending on where it's damaged. Okay, so the nervous system controls all body functions. It's like the nucleus of a cell. It obviously interacts with other systems. The skeletal system is going to protect the brain and the spinal cord. Your muscular system is going to protect your nerves. Of course, your nervous system controls all the functions of every other system in the body, and it helps your body to maintain homeostasis. Okay? Next system is the excretory system, also known as the urinary system. This is like the system that cleans our body out. It takes out all of the waste from our cells. So it removes liquid waste. This is where urine comes in. So our blood flows through our kidneys here, and there's little tiny filtering factories in our kidneys called nephrons, and the nephrons filter our blood and take the waste out of our blood. And then along with that is turned into nitrogen waste, which goes to our liver, and then is turned into urea. And then it comes back and it goes down these tubes. And so urea, salt, and water makes up urine. It flows down these tubes. These are called ureters, your left and your right, to your urinary bladder. And then your body removes urine from your body. So liquid waste belongs to the excretory system. I already told you how it interacts when I was talking a little bit earlier, but the circulatory system is going to bring blood to be filtered through the kidneys, and all that cellular waste from all the cells in our body are removed in the kidneys. And then, of course, our skeletal system is going to protect our kidneys. Okay, our endocrine system. This may be a system you're not familiar with, but it's an organ system that controls a lot of your body processes by hormones. So all of the hormones are produced in the endocrine system. Their hormones are chemical messages. They're released into the blood, so obviously it works with the circulatory system. But it's all the glands in your body. So if you look down here, your adrenal glands, your parathyroid glands, your pituitary gland, your thyroid gland, your pancreas. It's regulating a lot of stuff in your body. It's sending out hormones. It's sending out messages to say, hey, we're not maintaining homeostasis here. We need to do something about it. Your pancreas is going to regulate sugar amounts. So if it's like, hey, I'm really hungry, you need to eat, or I'm really thirsty, we need some water in here. So it's doing all of that stuff. It's sending out chemical messages through hormones. So obviously it works with the circulatory system because it brings the hormones to different parts of the body to help maintain homeostasis. And then it works with our reproductive system because reproductive hormones, testosterone and estrogen, are released by the endocrine system. Then we get to our reproductive system, an organ system that produces male and female sex cells and creates more of its kind. So in females, we have the ovary, the uterus, the placenta, all that stuff that we need for a baby to grow. For males, the reproductive organ is the testes, and that is where sperm is created, so where meiosis happens. Meiosis makes me. Okay, the reproductive system is going to interact with other systems, obviously the endocrine system because it secretes reproductive hormones, and the circulatory system is going to distribute those reproductive hormones throughout the body. Of course, it also works with circulatory, respiratory, digestive because we bring in, because blood, nutrients, and oxygen are all needed by the respiratory system. And we're almost done. The immune system is an organ system that protects our cells from microscopic invaders like bacteria and viruses, and it helps to keep us healthy. That is its job. It obviously works with the circulatory system. White blood cells are one of the things that fight off invaders. T cells are another one. It protects all other systems by attacking bacteria and viruses, so it works with all systems to help keep the systems healthy. And our last system is the integumentary system. It acts as a barrier to protect the body from the outside world, skin, hair, nails, and glands. It helps to retain body fluids and protects against fluids leaving our body. It helps to regulate body temperature. And obviously our integumentary system is super important to maintaining homeostasis. The integumentary system is obviously going to interact with all other systems. It protects all systems from the outside world. It removes cellular waste with the excretory system when you sweat. And it works with the nervous system to maintain homeostasis by retaining fluid, shivering, and sweating. All of those things are how the integumentary system acts with other systems. And that's it. We're done. See you soon. Please ask questions in class if you have them.